Hi, welcome to Formula Fridays. Today is Formula One. First we start Hungary. Okay. I'm gonna tell you the topic. So it's race start. Let's go with Ben. Give us your point of view on the race start.
It was a mess.
It was a mess.
I've never seen a game of bowling so good before, but it was a complete mess and just killed half the grid in the first couple corners.
Another thing that first corner even the thing is Valtteri Bottas missed his braking zone by something around like 60 meters or something.
Yeah,
60 meters. He just plowed through everyone.
Lando Norris had a great start and then just got yeeted.
Yeah.
Valtteri Bottas was confirmed that he'd lost his seat for 2022.
Yeah.
And
you never know. You never know because he took out 2 Red Bulls in one go, in one corner.
True.
So
he actually may get a bonus at the end of the year.
I mean, Lance Stroll got let off. He just completely destroyed Ricciardo.
Yeah. Lance Stroll
should have been served a penalty of some sort, but he
did. He got a grid penalty for.
He kind of got overshadowed by Bottas.
Yeah, it's true. And I think it's because Bottas took out both Red Bulls, and they're the ones fighting for the championship. Because Stroll just jumped over a curb and landed on top of Leclerc. So they're like,
exactly.
He did get a grid penalty.
Bottas was worse.
Yeah, but Bottas took out Perez, Lando. Yeah. So Perez, Lando. Who else did he get?
Perez, Lando, Verstappen. He took Pierre Gasly off the right path, and then that also led to the Ferrari McLaren, other McLaren of Daniel Ricciardo, and Stroll being knocked out of place as well.
Yeah.
No, Stroll knocked Leclerc. He spun into Ricciardo.
Leclerc went over. Leclerc was going around the corner on the apex, and Lance Stroll hopped over the curb and went on top of the engine cover of Leclerc. Just crushed his engine.
And then sent Daniel Ricciardo spinning.
Yeah, Daniel Ricciardo also got quite bad damage to his rear floor.
Steady at the end, he tried his best.
Yeah, because if you watch the race start on Ocon's point of view, it's crazy. You just see everyone go flying in front. Another crazy one you should watch is actually he got very lucky. That's why he got that win. I think it's just his amazing ability just to weave through traffic in that.
It literally looked like the start of a Mario Kart game.
Yeah. But if this was like F1 2021 or F1 2019. You overtake those people, you get like 16 illegal overtakes, and you have to hand it all back.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But if you look at behind Hamilton, I think they said it was like 10 centimeters where the cars just went just behind him. It was so close. Like if you watch from the start, they just.
I wish it took out Hamilton.
Hamilton.
My mum loves Hamilton, but
I don't know how people even. Respect him as a Formula One driver.
Glory hunters.
I think Alonso's the only reason he didn't win.
It's like
liking
Hamilton because of his race, not liking Hamilton because of his race.
It's not that. I think people dislike Hamilton because he's arrogant. He's just an arsehole.
No, people dislike Hamilton because he's won 7 championships. They're just bored of him.
But it's that also. But ready? No, because when Hamilton wins, okay, he's so arrogant towards the other drivers. Like he knows he's the best. He doesn't. His sportsmanship is so horrible. It's the thing that's why people don't like him. Like he doesn't go celebrate with Valtteri Bottas wins. He doesn't go pick like with Alonso, who picks up Ocon and carries him around and everything, and all the other drivers.
And it was proved in the Nico Rosberg fight in 2016.
Yeah,
he just.
I found an interesting thing. I have an interesting point. After Hungary and just before the season break in 2016, Rosberg was on 186 points and Hamilton was on 192. And if you check the standings right now in Formula One, it's the exact same as 2016 when Rosberg won, which is...
Let's just hope Hamilton doesn't win the 2022 like he did with the 2017.
That's true. Year. But I think...
DNF will be
I don't think Verstappen wins.
Another controversial thing from Hamilton. He said to the media, Verstappen's 1 DNF from what's it called? Me catching him in the championship.
No,
and then,
that was the
He's just been so unlucky, Verstappen.
No. Hamilton said himself that Verstappen is 1 DNF away from what's it called? From me being back in the championship fight, and then Silverstone happened.
Yeah.
Oh, Silverstone.
Let's talk about Silverstone here.
No, that's later on. Can't be fast.
Later. Okay, so Hungary. I'm watching the race. I'm watching the race start right now. So yeah, Valtteri Bottas locks all 4 of his brakes.
I swear he didn't even brake. I swear, like,
everything.
He just broke
at
really
it, okay,
late.
ready? Look at it. They are all braking at that second Rolex sign. Valtteri Bottas starts braking at the beginning of that curb. That is like.
Wait, didn't Leclerc get hit as well, and he couldn't continue?
Yeah, because Lance Stroll tries to go. Lance Stroll tries to go on the inside. I'm watching
and
right now.
And he tried to continue, right?
He tried to continue, but his engine was squashed. And then, so let's go. I'm going to go through it right now. Okay, so Valtteri Bottas hits Lando Norris. Lando Norris hits Max Verstappen. Valtteri Bottas hits Sergio Perez. Lance Stroll hits Leclerc. Sergio Perez knocks Gasly out of the way. Sonda has to avoid. Lance Stroll hits Leclerc. Leclerc hits Daniel Ricciardo. Ocon gets through there. Sainz has to stop because they're all in the way. He gets cut off by who is that? He gets cut off by not Lance Stroll. He gets cut off by Sebastian Vettel, and then and then they just continue like that. And then Hamilton's.
Oh, how?
2 seconds up the road.
Got robbed.
Yeah,
Vettel got robbed of second place.
But as well as Latifi in P2 when he came out of the first corner incident, that was confusing. Okay. I was like, how you go from 20th in the race before
to P2.
To P2.
Yeah,
I was hoping that they would stick it out, but they never did.
Yeah, I was when George Russell came in second after all the pit stops. I'm like, what's going on? What's going on? But
and
it's because he's skipping you. Yeah.
What is George Russell's engineer doing?
I got really concerned when he started to slow down.
Yeah. I was just like, oh no,
and I was like, no. And
but if you look at Valtteri Bottas' point of view, they brake. He's still going, and he brakes when he is just about to hit the rear. Like he brakes so late that he breaks his front left tire onto the back of his car. Like that's how late he brakes. This is like my race starts in karting when I'm in like the wet weather. Like my god, that's what it reminds me of. It's just complete chaos.
It's interesting. Yeah. I think after the first incident that was pretty hectic. The restart was just
yeah.
That was
it was a genius idea by Mercedes because Hamilton can't take anyone else out if there's no one on the grid.
Yeah, exactly. How many people can he crash into?
Genius by Red Bull.
They're all too scared of him.
Why was he still on the? Why did he start
it was a complete shot. If they brought him in to change his tires, I think he would have won by 30 seconds. Was Hamilton
and Kimi Räikkönen and Mazepin.
Kimi and that's another thing that we're going to talk about. That is it's so odd because like what is the doing? Turn the green light on and bam hits into Mazepin. And
it's no one's fault because Kimi was told to go out.
Yeah. He was so Kimi shouldn't have got the penalty. The team should have got a fine for the damage. They should have fixed the NASCAR.
Engineering.
I was really sad though seeing Mazepin being DNF'd from the race, especially because I was going for Mazza win. And then
he was on. You know what else? Another thing that we have to talk about: Mick Schumacher defending Verstappen and Fernando and Lewis. He was an absolute gun this race.
I didn't think the Haas could do that for that long.
Yeah, I know it was really, really. I think it wasn't
the front wing just going to fly off and hit Verstappen or someone at the back, or I was confused.
The problem is with Haas is they were fighting for fourth of Renault in 2019. And they're a solid team, and they're trying to not spend any money this year, and they want to spend loads next season, and then they keep on crashing, so they can't save the money for next season.
They can't operate the wind tunnel.
Yeah,
it's a complete malfunction.
Yeah, I think their real problem was their lack of sponsors. They relied completely and solely on Gene Haas, who just slowly was pulling the plug and funding. So their first season, I think they had 350 million as their budget, including getting into Formula One, and they finished 6th first season, which is unheard of. It was so insane for an American team. The next season, they're 5th or something, or 6th again, was it? In 2017, they were 6th or 5th.
Yeah, well, they actually did quite well. I looked in 2018, I think it was their best season, coming 4th.
4th, yeah.
I saw that, and I'm like, that is just
and I think,
incredible.
they've got an amazing team. Because Gunther Steiner, I would put him up there with the 3rd best team principal. So it'll be Toto Wolff, Christian Horner, Gunther.
I think,
I believe
that
Gunther.
Old one who always got cried whenever people left.
Oh, Cyril or Irritable.
Yeah, but
do we know if he ever got the tattoo?
But you've got to see from Gunther. He was dealing with it. Really, another thing that cost probably all of Haas's dreams of ever getting higher in the championship. Ferrari's plunders in late 2019 and 2020. Because Haas relied solely on Ferrari for parts, and I believe that's what cost them probably.
Yeah,
and also,
why they haven't switched over to the Mercedes engine, or have they?
Yeah, I know. I think it's just because Ferrari's giving them a good deal, and they just have Gunther has no money to work with. I genuinely think they are bankrupt.
Well, why Haas are bankrupt is because they had a huge sponsorship deal with Rich Energy.
Yeah, and nothing came from it,
and they didn't pay them.
Yeah. £36 million.
Actually never,
£36 million.
It wasn't a thing. It wasn't a thing. You can only buy it online.
I think that's what really just destroyed their. So we obviously have Ferrari beginning to get parts becoming worse. Then we've of course got Gene Haas and not wanting to spend any more money. Then we've got a failed sponsor program, and then this season 2 rookies that crash too often. Mick, I say, is actually been quite good. He's shown that he's ready for Formula One. Mazepin,
he will be very
He's not
good.
got a good car, really.
I don't think he's world championship level winning. I more feel like he's a Daniel Ricciardo kind of thing.
Yeah, but you never know. Ready?
That's what get podiums, but I don't think he'll ever win a world championship.
That's what people said about Michael Schumacher. They said he may win a championship, but he's not. Michael Schumacher was never going to be the greatest driver of all time.
Michael Schumacher was a cheat, but that's another statement.
No, but Michael Schumacher was smart. He knew he was a mechanic. He knew how to make a team great. He took Ferrari from 6th on the grid to winning 5 championships in a row. That isn't, that doesn't come out a blink of an eye.
Kind of helped him win one of the
and it helped him win a few races. But I think it's just because Ferrari loved him so much for bringing them back to the top. So what do you expect from them?
I feel like he's not the god that everyone calls him.
He's not. Ready? I'm a humongous Michael Schumacher fan, but I do not believe that he was anywhere near. I would put him maybe in the top 50% of drivers in Formula One ever. He was not.
Senna was better.
Yeah.
Ayrton Senna. Okay, Ayrton Senna, Jim Clark, Alan Prost, and I would say you've just got to put but not Lewis Hamilton.
Lewis Hamilton.
He does got really good car. Lewis Hamilton, his entire career, has had the number.
Yes, but
he's had the number one.
He's not going to get points.
He has had the best car his entire career, going from McLaren to Mercedes. Literally the 2 best cars in probably history of Formula One.
No, but that Mercedes car was not good. That was a very poor car.
2013, that car was fighting for podiums. 2014, Mercedes was preparing the turbo hybrid engine for 6 years. They were waiting to bring that engine out.
You see, McLaren at those days, McLaren was the best. It was like when McLaren moved McLaren to Mercedes.
Yeah, people thought it was a bad move.
It was like, moving from Man U to West Ham.
Yeah, but ready? But the thing is,
didn't they say that on Top Gear?
Yeah, on Top Gear. But what the thing is, ready? Niki Lauda, who was the chairman of Mercedes actually went to Lewis Hamilton privately and told him Mercedes has got the best engine next year. Trust me, I'm their chairman. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong, and then I'll get you a contract at any other team. I'll get you a contract Ferrari or Red Bull. And Lewis Hamilton, okay, let's see how this goes. 2013 was first season a bit rocky. 2014 steamrolled. Like Niki Lauda knew they were going to win, and I think everyone at Mercedes.
I think if Niki Lauda wasn't involved with the
Mercedes
kind of development of Mercedes in the 2010s decade, it would have never been the winning car.
Yeah, if Niki Lauda never told Lewis Hamilton to come to Mercedes or was never there, Mercedes would be a midfield team. I'm not even joking. It would literally be a midfield team.
Yeah.
Red Bull or Ferrari
They
may
didn't
have
have
won the
that
next.
amazing
Ready?
car.
What I think what would have happened actually is 2014 would
They
actually
get
have
points
would have
sacrificing
actually
Bottas.
2014 would have gone to Red Bull. It would have been Red Bull, and then I think these current years would be all Ferrari.
Yeah.
Because if it had not been for the Mercedes dominance, Ferrari would not have had to cheat.
I feel like also McLaren is getting quite good with their manufacturing and development.
Yeah.
I also feel like they could take a very quick turn to the left. Like they do something wrong with their car and they're going out of the championship.
But I think this season is relying a lot on McLaren coming third, because I believe if they don't come third, they're never going to have a shot at winning the championship ever again.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's just a given.
That's not true.
No, because
if they can invest money through Lando Norris, they will.
I know, but the problem is, they've got a $20 million contract with Daniel Ricciardo. If he doesn't,
Ricciardo, I think he's getting paid too much for what he provides.
No.
Actually, I think Lando Norris is.
He barely gets points every time.
I think Lando Norris's experience with the car
is Norris getting paid more than Ricciardo? Or is Ricciardo getting paid more?
I believe
will get paid a lot more.
I think Ricciardo's contract is going to be 20 million.
Norris is better.
Going to be. Norris is better this season, but Norris has only driven a McLaren. Daniel Ricciardo's driven a HRT, a Toro Rosso, a Red Bull, a Renault, and a McLaren now. 5 different teams.
Wait, what position is he averaging? Like 11th or like 10th or every time?
He averages around 8th or 9th, I think his average finishing is now.
Yes.
What's happening to Verstappen? Is it his engine, like the past few races? Like or just getting screwed over by...
The last few races have been...
Lewis Hamilton
his
just killing
qualifying isn't good enough.
Yeah, I think
he used like
Max was actually he's the reason he didn't actually get pole was because Red Bull kind of stuffed up the qualifying program with him. They waited and Lewis Hamilton obviously slowing them down so much to make their tires get so cold during that last run. If that last run was up to Max Verstappen, he would have got pole. I could already.
I have to disagree with you. Hamilton looks like he would get pole.
Maybe the reason why the Red Bulls haven't, especially Max Verstappen, haven't been qualifying as high is maybe they're waiting to switch out some engine parts.
No, but I've
heard that they don't want to you can only have only a few engines every single season. So they don't want to waste it.
Yeah.
Over one lap, that Mercedes is a complete beast. But over a race, that Red Bull keeps its tires in check, keeps its temperature in check.
Checo's time management.
Checo is an absolute. He's one of the. I would say he's one of the greatest drivers with tire management.
Checo, when he heard that the sprint race you didn't have to have a pit stop.
Yeah, No, but ready. I think that if Checo gives off his skills of tire management before he retires to Max Verstappen will be the most untouchable driver of all time. I genuinely think Max Verstappen's speed and Checo's tire management put into one driver would be the greatest driver of all time, hands down. It would beat out Senna, beat out any driver of the past.
Yeah, but
I'm thinking more.
I think Verstappen has good enough time management. His time management's fine.
It's decent, but the problem is during qualifying is where where he's too aggressive during qualifying, where he burns up his tires really, really quickly.
But that's Red Bull's strategy. Their strategy is just wrong.
Red Bull really
qualifying is awful.
Yeah. I was saying it was shocking what they were doing in the qualifying. They messed up his whole chance of getting pole. But I believe
it meant he had a bad start. On the softs would mean he would have an awful start.
Yeah.
I have played the Hungering on
F1.
Called? F1 2021. It isn't an easy circuit. It's not really slipstreamed.
You can't.
As a racer myself,
for the it's an easy.
These types of tracks. So it's 30 degrees Celsius. The track temperature is 69 degrees Celsius on the surface after just 69. Raining. It's really, I know. And the track had just swapped over from wet to dry. It is the most disgusting conditions. It's brutally hot. The drivers are under a lot of stress. The tires are out of whack. It's greasy, so there's no grip, but the road's so hot, so it's melting the tires onto the track while there's no grip. So it's boiling up the tires.
There's no place to overtake.
Yeah, and there's no place to overtake. So the straight turn 1, turn 2, and turn 3, and turn 4 is the only places to overtake.
That whole circuit is just not
Alonso
nice.
is so good.
It's because the cars are so wide now. They're so big, wide, and heavy.
Yeah.
If we go back to the 90s, the cars are half the length, a third, 2/3 of the width.
Monaco these days is just generally a horrible.
It's impossible.
Circuit
It's horrible because if we go back, if we go back to the early 2000s, overtaking at any track was possible. Like what's it called? Monaco.
Now
every
they have,
track
like,
you could overtake.
Always like crash into each other and stuff.
But
so even Azerbaijan, it's a street circuit, but it still has more overtaking opportunities than Monaco. But there's only a few corners which you can effectively do it well.
Monaco. There's what corner? The tunnel you can overtake into the chicane, heavy braking zone. You could go through there, but it's as you see with 2019 Verstappen. I'm quite sure. You see how risky it is.
As well, I think it's
and even with
Sergio
Alonso,
Perez
like,
and Romain
defending, hard to
Grosjean
overtake.
had a crash in Monaco one time.
Yeah, Nico Rosberg as well. Off through. I just think the cars, the 2022 cars look cool, but they're what's it called? 15 kilos heavier. They're just as wide. They're just a bit shorter. It doesn't make.
Well,
yeah, the tires are slower. Like they've just made the tires slower. And now another thing that's completely stupid. This is why the FIA is just so stupid. I honestly think they make pit stops slower. Ready? You know who has one of the worst pit stop crews on the entire grid? Mercedes. You know who's got the best? Red Bull. It's just so blatantly obvious.
Who's the one who made like an amazing pit stop on the
2019 or 2019 Brazil, 1.83 second pit stop from Red Bull.
I swear there was one like really good this last race.
It was 1.88.
Like 1.7 or something.
Yeah, 1.88.
No, 1.88.
Yeah.
1.7. I'd be like,
who was it? Who was it?
Working light speed.
Red Bull. It's always Red Bull.
Wait, was it Verstappen?
Yeah,
I think Perez.
Because Perez went out in the first corner. But the F1 cars need to be changed.
I think FIA is taking the wrong direction in the design of the F1 cars.
They're trying to make it
like as big as the whole track.
They need to basically just go back to the early 2000s with all the safety equipment. I get it's going to be a bit more heavy, but narrow the cars down and make them shorter. It's because the engines are so big. That's the problem. These new engines are humongous compared to the V8. With all the ERS equipment and all that, they are huge. Have you seen the size of them?
There was a question at a press conference, which is now turned into a meme about the guy saying if it's too technical, too many buttons, and stuff like that. It is getting to the point where Formula One is very complicated, a button for everything, but it's going quite far into the complicated zone. I think the FIA is trying to simplify.
Even on the simulator,
as you can see in the new design.
The new design is very simple, but
slow, but.
Yeah, but the thing is, they're trying to make it more raceable, but it's going to be impossible. You can follow a car, but where are you going to overtake when it's 2 meters wide? Like, some parts of the track are only 5 meters wide.
Monaco, I do love the circuit, but I do think it should be removed from the Formula One calendar.
Until the cars are narrow enough to have two of them go around the corner. It's so
Monaco
iconic.
Will never be removed.
That's
it
the
will
problem.
Never,
ever. It's
ever.
too important to Formula One to be removed. Ready? You know,
it's the biggest race.
Ready? Yeah, but ready? You know, there's one track that does need to be removed until something gets done about it seriously. Is Spa. Something really needs to be done about the safety of Eau Rouge.
Yeah, Spa is deadly.
That GT3 crash that I watched when it happened, that was almost identical to Antoine Hubert. That was almost that was so scary, that crash.
It's just the circuit of Spa. It's a great circuit to watch.
It's amazing, but Eau Rouge is so unsafe.
On F1 in 2021. But I've gone around that corner, and I swear, out of the 10 times I did it, I spun out 7.
Yeah, like even from cruise, you can say, because when you're racing, you can feel how light your car goes through a corner. Because it's basically a ramp to launch you. The only reason they don't
said in an unbox that this kind of corner, you actually don't see what's in front of you.
Yeah,
so
it's
because just hammer it down and hope for the best.
That's because when I go-kart racing and there's a corner that actually goes uphill like Eau Rouge, and it's a very steep corner. You don't see the straight behind it. You go up the corner, you can't see anything over it. So if there's someone spun out up there, you're going full speed, 70 kilometers an hour, you hit into them, you break both your ankles. Like it's risky corners. But with this, I'm going 70. They're going 320 kilometers up that Eau Rouge or something now. It's so crazy. Like, and their front of their car is, it's a bit protective. But when you hit a completely still car, you're going to kill the driver inside and you're going to kill yourself.
I think it's also with the old Hockenheim ring.
The old
forest
Hockenheim,
section of the circuit.
So
deadly.
Yeah.
Like F1 in the old days, it wasn't really about safety.
It was more about speed.
More about now. Yeah.
But now they're like, we're the fastest sport, but we're all safe. But yeah, Jules Bianchi, that was horrible, mate. But I think that's why they introduced, new safety car and all that, just to kind of save them from something like that happening again. And
as well as Niki Lauda's crash. If you see it, he stops pretty much, and then he gets rammed by another car, and then another car, and then another car.
Yeah.
It was such a mess of a crash. It's a miracle it survived.
Yeah, but ready? Another thing with Eau Rouge, the problem with Eau Rouge is the barriers. They're like, we've got the new high-tech barriers that bounce you off. That's the whole problem. They bounce them off into the middle of the track. Someone comes and hits them, they both die. To Antoine Hubert, the only reason he didn't survive, if the barrier just sucked him into it or stopped him dead, he may have got severe brain damage or, been severely concussed and had a lot of damage from his body, but he would have still been alive.
Why don't the barriers like that?
Because it's because they're like, safety. Oh no, Rouge, you can't have barriers that bounce you out. Even if the barrier is just a thing that actually takes the car inside and slows it down, that's what they have to do. Because with Eau Rouge, those barriers are like all the other tracks where they bounce you off, so you don't stop immediately. But with that, you bounce off, you go onto the track, and that's what causes fatalities.
If you saw the crash in Silverstone. The barriers there, you could see how the car entered it. It went into the thing, and then the back end bounced up, and then went back down again. They should put that in more tracks because it's quite effective.
Yeah,
it's not a nice crash, but
it's a lot of money.
Yeah, but the thing is, Eau Rouge is just like, it's a risky circuit. But if they're so keen on safety, they need to change it because that's what's causing the most fatalities in modern Formula One is Eau Rouge. Like it's. First
and also like tactical stuff, like it's like people like trying to like crash into people on purpose. It's like
but it's I don't know, with Lewis Hamilton, I don't know, it was a bit dodgy. That
it's just Mercedes in general.
Yeah, these past two races, that is true. The only reason Mercedes has won the
How have you been telling them?
No, because as a racer, I'm going to tell you right now, okay? So what's happening is Verstappen was always in front of Hamilton. So as a racer, the person that's behind always has to concede, and that's just a fact. That's just something that is a racing rule, because if you don't, you're at the wrong. So Hamilton understeers into Verstappen and causes a 53 crash. That was completely.
You saw the apex after the.
He was a meter and a half away from the apex.
Yeah, he was understeering, and then the moment he
and the fact he was still celebrating,
stepping off, he randomly steer again.
Yeah, ready? What happens? Okay, is he's going through the corner. He's not going to make the corner, and if you even watch the data replay over it, he's going through the corner and he bounces him off, and then he lifts. That's why Leclerc comes past, because he has to lift to actually make the corner. Otherwise, he's going off into the gravel.
Michael, I sent you an email.
Yeah,
and something was wrong with the car.
It was. I genuinely think it was a bit of a purposeful crash.
Did they keep that same
I think
engine
it's
into this Hungary race?
More
Hamilton
that he
is
won the race.
Yeah, and celebrated like that.
Win the race. Yeah.
If ready, what a 10-second penalty for attempted murder.
Yeah.
It should have been a 15-second stop and go penalty and a drive-through.
I feel like something we need to talk about is Fernando Alonso and Lewis Hamilton. That was the best.
That was the best racing. That was the best racing I've seen.
Lando Norris and Hamilton in Imola. That was also great.
Yeah,
that was
but
just impressive.
Fernando Alonso is up there with one of the greatest drivers of all time. Yes, he's only got 2 championships, but he is one of the. He takes midfield cars somewhere where they're never allowed to be. Ferrari in 2000 and all the early 2000s to 2007 to 2012, I believe. That Ferrari was not meant to be up at the top. That was a midfield car. His teammate scored 9 points. Fernando Alonso came second in the championship. A car does not just do that. He's up there with one of the greatest of all time. I put this ready. Greatest driver of all time, Ayrton Senna, hands down. Second greatest, Jim Clark. Third greatest, Alan Prost.
Hamilton has to be up.
Hamilton won. Michael Schumacher. No. Hamilton's a quick driver, but he's not a great driver. Ready?
Yeah.
Michael Schumacher was a quick driver. He wasn't a great driver. These drivers have the best cars their entire career. Michael Schumacher always had a good car, but he worked on his car to make it better and better.
Sponsorships probably and the money they can bring in.
Yeah.
They just give them the best ones.
The reason Mercedes got so much money off getting Hamilton is obviously because his skin color. He's the only African-American driver or black driver in Formula One. And that has so much marketability in the world right now that he's just a walking press tool.
Yeah, have you seen his Instagram stories?
What about after he retires? Who do you think is going to be the next, like, Lewis Hamilton, like, that kind of person?
There's always going to be a twat in Formula One.
Yes.
Whether when I race, I don't want to be a twat. I want to be a good sportsman. That's the whole point. As racing, you have friends. So you have a race, you beat someone, you go congratulate them, you give them a hug, you shake their hand, you say, well done. You don't just go celebrate, oh, I won. If I was in Hamilton's point of view, I won the race, but I've hit someone out. 53 G crash. Second highest G crash since Grosjean. Okay? Even Daniel Ricciardo, who got asked an interview, he stopped during the interview and just asked how Max was doing. He's not his teammate anymore. That's just something nice to do. He's a McLaren asking about a Red Bull driver.
Yeah,
he's just like, he stops the interview. He's like, stop. How's Max doing?
Yeah, I feel like Daniel Ricciardo this season, I feel like COVID is actually impacting him a bit more than it should be. Because he hasn't been able to see his family.
Yeah, in a year or something.
It might be just mentally. Like
It's mentally
problem.
He hasn't seen his family in a year and a half or something, isn't it? Or a year.
Did you see his reaction after the race in Hungary?
Yeah, I know. He just head down and just. It's just so sad to see. He's such an amazing driver, but he needs to switch on his form. I think it's this half of the season and half of the problem is I think this first season it's not going to be great, and I think McLaren accept that. He saw what he did in Renault.
That's the reason why they signed a 3-year contract instead of the mistake Renault made with only signing a 2-year.
Yeah,
because he reached his prime in his second year, but McLaren knows that he won't reach his prime in his first year. He'll do pretty well in his second, most likely. If he has a third year with the car, I think that's going to be like Red Bull, where he won quite a few.
Where I think he won 3 races in a season.
Yeah, I think his time's coming to an end. I have to say, he doesn't look like much is happening, and how Lando Norris is performing.
Ready? Lando Norris. Yeah,
how old is Ricciardo?
32. Lando Norris has only driven a McLaren. You got to take that in perspective. Daniel Ricciardo's driven 5 different cars.
So Daniel Ricciardo will retire with McLaren.
Norris is doing better in that car, though.
Yes,
Norris has got over 100 points.
Yes, but ready? Norris has more experience in a McLaren than Daniel Ricciardo does.
Yes, but Daniel Ricciardo has won 8 races.
Yeah, but ready? He's a proven race winner. 9, but... Yeah, he's a proven race winner, but that doesn't mean he can win races in a car that can't win races. He needs to build his form back in.
Can't win races.
That car sometimes even struggles to get on the podium.
Investing in. Maybe that's not like Ricciardo's type of racing. I don't know, a different car.
Ricciardo requires amazing brakes. The Red Bull has amazing brakes. He built his entire driver personality over the Red Bull's brakes. That's why he has such a slow start with the team.
Yeah, you can see it in the Azerbaijan overtake. Where he took over 3 cars
in one corner and only locked
no other driver would ever dare to do that.
Daniel Ricciardo's confidence on the brakes in that Red Bull was better than any driver in any car in the history of Formula One. and it's just a thing that he was so used to his early career. The early part of your career really proves what type of driver you are. Daniel Ricciardo's early Formula One career was Red Bull brakes and all of that. That's why he based his whole thing off that. Daniel Ricciardo's a late breaker, but this McLaren can't hold up to it.
Something I'm feeling is Lando Norris has been a lot more.
What do you think's going to happen with his future? Like, because everyone's been like talking about Russell, or what do you think's going to happen with Russell? Then do you think he's going to stay?
I believe
one more in Williams.
I believe that Russell has a good. Esteban Ocon and Russell are both going to be fighting for that next. Because I genuinely think
if I was Ocon, I'd probably stay one more year at Alpine and then
I
on that.
So much, though.
But I believe
that
I believe that Valtteri Bottas' time is up. He has had so many chances to win a championship. He's had since 2017.
No, the moment they signed Valtteri Bottas as the second driver for
I think they knew he was never going to win.
No chance he was never going to win. His only role was to support Lewis.
And I think he's done well at that.
He's not doing that bad. He's not doing that bad.
But I believe that Russell can do better. And I think that's why they should sign him. Because Russell is young, and he's got even ready. What they can fall back is Lewis. If Lewis retires this year, which I don't think he will, if he wins an 8 championship, I think
Lewis isn't retiring this year. He signed another 2-year contract with Mercedes.
Yeah, but he's the ringleader over them. Hamilton. He controls Mercedes. It's just like how Fernando Alonso controlled McLaren in 2015 to twenty 2017. He was the ringleader.
But the most of F1 fan base is like Lewis Hamilton. Like people, so many people love him or hate him. Most people like based around him. It's always like a love or hate.
I think people dislike him because he is not he's a sore loser and he's a sour. He's a sore loser and he's an ungracious winner.
Yeah, but you have to he's always been brought up winning and stuff. He hasn't been brought up losing and stuff, so that's why.
Yeah, but everybody's lost a race. Everybody's been beaten by someone, and you just have to respect that the person that beat you did better.
Yeah, wait, is he from a rich or poor?
No, his family. His family was poor. Well, the middle class. They were scraping the barrel to put him into racing.
Yeah. But back to what we were saying about George Russell. Is Nico Rosberg Hamilton. There's lots of fights and there's lots of crashes between the two. I think they'll wait Lewis Hamilton's career out. And did you guys see what happened to Dan Tillicum? He's the F2 driver. He's meant to be. He's meant to be amazing.
He's just stupid with what he's doing. Career. He's an absolute idiot. He's an idiot. It's simple as that. You're a good driver, but you can't be a twat. You can't be an idiot.
But to be fair, Latifi is just buying him his way into.
Yeah, but so what?
I also feel like we need to talk about Oscar Piastri.
Oscar Piastri, absolute gun.
I feel like he'll get to Formula One, but I don't think it'll be next year because I feel like the current grid is going to stay. Is Antonio Giovinazzi's contract out at the end of the year, or is he?
He's a bit meh, isn't he? He doesn't really do much.
Yeah, he's one of the F1 drivers that just disappears.
Yeah. Well, also, I don't think Ocon will go jump straight to a Mercedes top driver.
No,
I think he might go one in the middle, maybe.
No. I think he'll go from Alpine to Mercedes. I think an insane duo is when Bottas is gone and Lewis Hamilton retires. I think they're just going to bring up Ocon and Russell.
Russell and Ocon together.
That would be one of the strongest Mercedes teams in a while. Ocon is a very talented driver.
The recent news that Audi and BMW have been investigating joining Formula One
and Porsche.
Yeah, I feel like that's going to be interesting. Will they do well? Probably not, but
you never know. Porsche is a proven race car winning team, so you never know because they said 2025 Porsche was interested in joining, and my goal is to be in Formula One by 2025 to 2026. So. See how that goes,
5 years away. That's good time frame. Yeah. It's an interesting driver market at the end of the season because lots of these higher teams are losing lots of their drivers' contracts. I think Sergio Perez, his contract was only a 1 year.
Yeah, I think it was 1 year.
Yeah.
Everyone's like,
I think he's proven himself.
Someone will be moving to Red Bull, and Checo will lose his seat. Checo's not losing his seat.
No, he's not. No, not
Checo's
a chance.
what they needed. Checo is at the level of Daniel Ricciardo or better for supporting what Red Bull needs. It's all like Pierre Gasly. He is a good driver, but he was disconnected from what his aim was in Red Bull.
He was too focused.
As well as Albon. It was just a supplement until he could find a good driver.
What happened with he was too focused on catching Max and he forgot about himself. Like as a driver, that's what you do. You're racing in a car. You're like, oh, person in front, I gotta copy them. I've got to catch up to them. I've got to brake later. Until eventually you make a mistake and you spin out and you're out in the gravel and you lose your race.
Talking as a driver, Gasly, AlphaTauri's form this year has been
absolutely
incredible.
Phenomenal.
Even Yuki Tsunoda.
Wait, is Albon
his first season out, and he's doing great.
Ready? Daniel Kvyat is the reserve driver, but I think the only problem with Tsunoda is he's got to stop crashing. He's costing them too much money.
I think
I see glimpses of him like being a good driver, but he just keeps.
Tsunoda, I think, could genuinely win races, but I don't think a championship. I
feel like Tsunoda's in the same range as Checo, where he kind of sticks in the midfield teams for quite a while.
But he does amazing in them. He does. Yeah. He can take a midfield team to win races, but when he's in the top team,
maybe 5 or 6 wins in his.
Yes, but you have to remember this is his first season of Formula One.
Yeah.
His first ever season.
Your first season is genuinely judged on what you will do with your career. Like Daniel Ricciardo had quite an outstanding first season for HRT. Seb, amazing first season. He won in a Toro Rosso before a Red Bull won a race.
Yeah, how?
Yeah, and then what's it called? Lewis Hamilton loses his first year's championship at one point. That was. You have to give it to him. He gets lucky with his car choices. Like he goes to a McLaren as his first car that's going to win a championship, and he just falls short. Thing is, Lewis Hamilton gets the best car and wins. That's just something that happens.
You've got to give a hands down to Lewis Hamilton almost winning
because he earns them more money.
Ready?
Rookie.
With Lewis Hamilton, it's like he's a good driver. He's a quick driver. Like I said with Michael Schumacher, they know how to win championships and races, but they're not a great driver. Ready? If we imagine this happened. Ready? George Russell goes to Mercedes and Lewis Hamilton goes to Williams. Is Hamilton going to win the world championship? No, because
probably not.
Probably not. Okay, if we put Hamilton in Alpine, is he going to win the championship? Probably not.
No.
But some drivers that are so amazing and so quick, they could push it. Like imagine if you put Ayrton Senna in that McLaren, he would win the championship. He was just such an outstanding. He was such an outstanding driver compared to the rest. Like you don't outqualify Alain Prost by a second and a half in Monaco because you're just some okay driver. Senna was on a different level than anyone else. Like some drivers are just above the step. Okay, they can take teams that don't have the best cars and make them win. Like
this weekend was a mess. I think it was
that Roland Ratzenberger. It was just they should have just cancelled as soon as Roland died. Straight away. There was no need. So sad, mate. So sad.
Let's have a conversation about Pierre Gasly.
Pierre Gasly. You can start.
Didn't they just go pit stop just to get the fastest lap in the race, right?
Yes. Christian Horner probably told them to get the fastest lap, mate.
But I don't think he'll ever get the chance in the Red Bull. Like he's an incredible driver, but he cracks under pressure.
He's a quick driver, but he can't. But he needs a team that's just chilled out and he can just focus on himself. He can't have the pressure of trying to catch Max Verstappen. Max Verstappen is a one in a generation talent. Max Verstappen, I would put up there with one of the greatest drivers of all time.
Already,
he is
not yet.
Not yet, but I think when you got to think he's 23 years old and he's had 5 years in Formula 1.
championship by now if Lewis wasn't a complete incompetent.
Yeah. If Lewis didn't crash into him, he would. Yeah. Lewis Hamilton is just an arsehole. And people who look up to him, I genuinely don't understand it. He's such a shit sportsman.
Maybe just the money he has.
No, but ready?
I've been following from the start. You knew.
Pardon? But I believe that Max Verstappen is genuinely one of the greatest drivers of all time. Just his raw talent and speed outmatches Hamilton on a bad day. You have to give it to Verstappen. He's quicker than Hamilton.
Yeah.
But Hamilton's got that experience, and
Hamilton's got the experience, but that's Hamilton's also got that. He's just a ruthless driver. He doesn't care about other people's lives. It's all him.
That's what
gets people killed.
About winning championships.
He doesn't kill anyone. He just does it to make himself win.
Yeah, but ready? He's such a shit racer. He'll be remembered for that.
He'll get remembered for his fame and winning everything.
No, ready? I don't think Hamilton is going to win an 8th championship. I genuinely don't.
I think he might after what happened.
I think he'll win this year.
I don't think actually. I genuinely don't think he's going to win.
I think Mercedes is losing their pace.
They are. I think it's the effects from Niki Lauda. Niki Lauda brought them up, and they're slowly dying without him.
In Imola, he was 30 seconds ahead of the competition.
No, Toto Wolff is incredible.
In their phase. He did a pit stop on the second last lap.
Yeah.
But who does that?
Maybe he was his car was just dying.
No, it was not dying. If he was still increasing the gap.
The reason I say Max Verstappen is one of the greatest drivers of all time is the Styrian Grand Prix, the first Austrian Grand Prix. You don't win. You don't win a race by 48 seconds from just having a quick car, because that Red Bull's even on pace with that Mercedes. That weekend, Max Verstappen was on a different level. 48 seconds in 70 laps. That's a 10th every lap on every single driver, or the second place. 48 seconds. That's just ludicrous. That track is a minute and 3 seconds long with the fastest time they set there. That's almost an entire lap on second place. Max Verstappen is on a different level to some drivers on that grid.
In 5th place for the second Austria, Carlos Sainz was 57 seconds behind Max Verstappen for 5th.
Yeah.
And the 61 seconds for Gasly. And then everyone else was lapped. Even Mazepin lapped twice.
It's just... I genuinely think when Max Verstappen reaches 25, he's going to be a 2-time world champion. I think he's going to win this year and next year. I think he's got an outstanding shot this year.
I don't think he'll win this year.
I think he's just proven. I think he's just proven to everyone in the world that Hamilton will crack under enough pressure. He's pushed Hamilton so far that Hamilton's got to revert to some vile techniques to try and win races.
Hamilton's winning and even
the championship
more now because he's been pushed by.
But listen, listen to this. Ready? The exact same scores were in the 2016 World Championship when Nico Rosberg beat Hamilton. The exact same points.
Verstappen is one win away.
Yeah, Verstappen is a win away from taking the championship back. And I genuinely think in Spa that Red Bull have gonna go have some serious pace there. Or is the next race Spa? I'm quite sure it is.
It is Spa, and then we have a triple header.
Yes. Ready? Spa, Netherlands, and Italy. They're 3 races that Red Bull's going to dominate. Okay, high downforce, Red Bull's got it. What's it called? Slow corners, Japan's. What's it called? Red Bull's got it. Ready? Yep. Ready? Italy. Red Bull was so quick on the straights with their engine. See in France, see how quick they were on the straight. They were I think 6 kilometers an hour with no DRS quicker than the Mercedes. 6.5 tenths on the straights alone. That is just ludicrous. In Monza, in Monza, it's good because they're gonna swap a new engine in. It's gonna be so crazy. That Honda engine is on a different league this year. It's so quick.
So in October, 1st to the 31st,
Lewis Hamilton win the last Spa
every single weekend.
Yeah, ready? I think one race where Mercedes will do well is United States. They are quite quick around USA. I think it's just a given.
Well,
yeah, Ferraris. Brazil again. Max Verstappen is untouchable. He's a beast around Brazil. Well, I think his girlfriend's Brazilian, so he better. So,
I think it's sad that Australia lost its GP again this year. But
yeah, I know.
I don't know why. It's so stupid.
It's like so stupid. Like,
and it's still so long away. It's still so long away.
14 days, which is understandable.
Yeah, but who cares? It's another
still like thing. 3 months away.
Yeah, like still.
They should have like maybe done it like a month.
Another thing we have to talk about is Checo.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't want to talk about him.
I believe he's proven that he deserves that Red Bull seat.
I'm not talking any good about Checo.
So give me 6 races until I can prove myself.
Yeah, and then he won.
Race in Baku. That was just an amazing opportunity. He saw the gap. Hamilton went up and he kept it.
Yeah.
It was just insane. And then Seb got the podium and Pierre Gasly.
Yeah. That race was perfect. Perfect. I fell asleep halfway through and I regret it so much.
Like, I was excited when Stroll yeeted it into the wall, and then Max yeeted it into the wall, and I was oh my god!
No, I was like, no. I woke up and I saw his DNF. I just screamed no. I just no, and I saw Lewis Hamilton in 16th, and then I saw Mazepin beat Hamilton.
Yeah, Mazepin beat Hamilton. That is just
Mazepin deserves that seat.
Yeah, Mazepin goes to Mercedes, wins the 18th championship.
Yeah.
To be honest, I think you might do good in Hamilton's car.
Ready? No, ready? You put a bad driver in a great car, they'll win races, but they won't win a championship.
Yeah.
You put a great driver in a bad car, they'll win races, but they won't win a championship. If you have a great driver,
I don't know if Hamilton will win in a Haas car.
I don't know how that works.
Well, Haas, obviously not, but Hamilton's not a great driver. Hamilton's a quick driver. Yeah, he's quick. He can win a couple. He's won a couple championships.
He's got joint the most amount of championships.
I know. Good? But ready? I'm not saying they're good. I'm not saying they're bad. I mean, like, I'm saying they're great drivers, but they're at a level where, they win championships. You don't have to be you don't have to be the greatest driver of ever to win a championship. You have to be. He's quick. I'm not going to deny that he's quick. He's a fast driver, but Max Verstappen's quicker than Hamilton, and that's just a thing. He's Hamilton, when he was 23, was his second season of Formula One, where he won his first championship. I believe Max Verstappen, 23, is going to win his first championship.
Yeah. I
think Hamilton's got the edge this year.
Yeah. Like, just what happened to...
You may think Hamilton's got the edge because he's crashing out Verstappen, but he's really just feeling the squeeze. Verstappen is really just pushing him. He's pushing him to the absolute limit of Hamilton's powers. Hamilton
Max is going to win Silverstone if he didn't get yeeted in turn 1.
Yeah, ready? What's it called? Christian Horner said if Hamilton had let Max... If Hamilton hadn't crashed into Max... You wouldn't have seen him that afternoon ever again.
Yeah.
That last sector for Red Bull was, what was it, like half a tenth quicker than Mercedes? Yeah. Well, no, not half a tenth, half a second. That Red Bull can outplay the Mercedes on most tracks.
It's also the pace.
Ready? Listen, ready? Red Bull has got the best development out of any F1 team during a season. And they've started off quick, which is an amazing sign for Red Bull. Like, throughout seasons, they always have a slow start and then they pick up and go quick, and that's why they always win the last races. But now they've had a good start. Just imagine how good they can go towards the end. I think the last 5 races, Red Bull's going to be untouchable.
You have to feel for Alex Albon though.
Alex Albon again. I don't think he deserved a Red Bull. Wasn't great, but he deserved a seat in Formula One, but not with Red Bull. I think he deserved a different team. I think
he deserved an AlphaTauri seat.
Yeah, AlphaTauri maybe.
Given Pierre another season.
Alfa Romeo.
Yeah, but who's he going to replace?
He's not joining a Ferrari development if he's in the Toro Rosso car.
Yeah, but who's he going to replace? Like pretty much everyone, like deserves a spot that has a spot right now.
Pierre Gasly, you see, with Pierre Gasly, he's not going to go back to Red Bull.
No, he's going to.
Let's be real. He cracks under the pressure. He's just going to retire out in AlphaTauri. So
I actually don't think.
I see Alex Albon.
I think he's going to move to a different. He's going to spend AlphaTauri maybe another 3 years there, but I think he's going to move to like a McLaren or something.
Yeah,
Daniel Ricciardo tires.
I can see like a.
I can see a McLaren. Yeah, because if Daniel Ricciardo retires, I reckon McLaren will pick up Pierre Gasly.
That'd be a very solid roster.
Norris and Lando Norris and Pierre Gasly.
I see Lando Norris going to Mercedes in the next 5 years.
What will happen is either George Russell or Esteban Ocon will underperform and they'll get dropped from Mercedes and Lando Norris will come in.
George Russell will not underperform.
No, George Russell has proven that he deserves that Mercedes seat. He beat Valtteri Bottas fair and square until Mercedes completely ruined his pit stop. He had 4 pit stops. I genuinely cried in that moment because he deserved that win so much. But I'm happy for Perez winning, but George Russell deserved that win.
Was some beauty.
Perez was quick that weekend, very quick. But George Russell in that Mercedes, he was in a car where he had to wear 2 sizes less shoe, and it was Hamilton's car fit. George Russell is 186, Hamilton's 175. He had to squeeze into that car. It's like me. I'm like 186 me like, fitting. Yeah. It's like me trying to fit.
Checo is the perfect teammate for Verstappen.
Yeah. I think Checo just has I think they just have to pick up Checo just has to pick up his pace, get a few more podiums in the second part, and then you see if he's completely safe. But I still believe
he's safe now. Alonso and Ocon partnership.
Alonso and Ocon are actually a very good duo this season.
Yeah,
I say that up there.
Do you think he's gonna go for that?
Ocon, I reckon Ocon will stay there for another 2 years.
No, I mean like Fernando Alonso.
Oh, Fernando, I think
retire.
2 more years, maybe.
Okay.
I think
he's
quite old, isn't he? He's like 40.
He's 40. Yeah, he turned 40. I think Kimi and Alonso probably have an agreement to retire together. They started their first season together, so I reckon they'll retire together.
Definitely.
Kimi's championship win is so lucky.
No, it was a good drive from him though. Like,
but it was lucky. He won by 1 point because Hamilton
won by 1 point, but yeah, he won by 1 point because he won the race because Hamilton made a mistake.
No,
he pushed too hard. He got a puncture, but in the first corner, he made a mistake. He went for a risky move, got a puncture. If Hamilton cost himself that championship, if he would have just kept, I genuinely think he would have won. But no, he went too risky. As a rookie, he just risked all of it and lost. Like if Hamilton played it safe, he would have won. But Kimi played it smart.
Kimi just doesn't care anymore, does he?
It's just a hobby for him, as he said.
Exactly. It's just money.
It's 20 years. It's 20 years for him. He's earned millions. He
doesn't want to retire.
I don't think he's going to retire this season. I think he just wants to have one last year.
Yeah, he will.
I think he's not going to retire, but I think he's going to be for F1 not being able to find a seat.
It's either this season or next season.
I genuinely think next season Alonso and Kimi are going to go out together. 21 years.
Go out together.
Kimi's out this season because his contract would be worth a lot, and lots of his back money.
But his experience is so vital to a small team that
not doing as well as he used to.
Yeah, but he's 41 years old.
Yeah,
like what do you expect?
And he's driving an Alfa Romeo.
Yeah, he's beating his teammate who's like 26
reaching his prime. But Kimi's got 2 points. Giovinazzi's got 1.
Yeah, but that Alfa Romeo is a horrible car. It doesn't deserve points.
It's not really. They just finished 12th and 11th. It's quite unlucky.
Yeah, but their car doesn't deserve points. It's They can't. Yeah, it may.
Giovinazzi's just a bit meh. He's not up to much.
It doesn't click on. It's like Verline. He was just a bit meh.
Yeah, I feel like Lando Norris will struggle with any other car but the McLaren.
Yeah, because he spent his entire career in the McLaren.
He's got no experience with any other car.
He's been in there for like 2 years.
He probably doesn't even know what.
Absolutely fine.
No,
2019, 2020, 2021.
He probably won't ever go to Mercedes. And
no,
I don't think he'll ever go to Red Bull.
I think he'll stay. I think he'll stay McLaren for his whole career.
Yeah, I don't think he'll ever win more than one world championship.
Yeah, I think he'll win. I genuinely think he'll win one
and then retire.
I think he'll win one, and retire at early 30s. Early 30s.
Nico Rosberg.
Yeah,
Nico Rosberg got offered like 100 million, but he just turned it down.
Yeah, they offered him. Yeah, well, his contract was, it was 50 million contract and then 50 million add-on to stay.
He's left with his money. Don't blame him.
Yeah.
To be a YouTube vlogger.
Yeah, he went to a YouTube vlogger, but also because his family. His wife just gave birth to a daughter. So
basically what he did was he just didn't see anyone for 2 years. He just grinded to get a world championship, won it, and then just lived happily.
Yeah, but the reason he retired like that and didn't take it back is because he wanted to be known as the only person that Lewis Hamilton didn't beat, and he did that. Lewis Hamilton has never beaten Nico Rosberg since that championship. Nico Rosberg has still got the upper hand on him.
Max Verstappen soon to be as well.
But I think Lewis Hamilton is feeling the pressure now. You can already see it.
He will win it though. Hamilton will win.
He could, but he also
it'll be very close.
I think what's going to happen is
100%.
Ricciardo at Red Bull back in 2017 not 2018, he was in Drive to Survive. Christian Horner said he offered everything and more than what he was currently getting.
Yeah.
And Drive to Survive.
But Drive to Survive, you can't take that.
Drive to Survive made me hate Sergio Perez.
Yeah, but the thing is, also is with Daniel Ricciardo, his agent was a complete nunce. Like, you don't turn down a $50 million contract from Red Bull plus add-ons just because you felt the dynamic wasn't good. He's just saying that because he's made a mistake. Daniel Ricciardo's made the biggest mistake of his career. Like, if Cruz was still here, he would go on about it.
I don't know why he went to Renault.
Yeah. If Cruz comes back now, he will go on about how Daniel Ricciardo made the worst choice of his career leaving Red Bull.
I also feel like though he needed to get out of there. Red
Bull is toxic, but if Daniel Ricciardo's dream was to become like a world champion, he would have sucked it up, become a world champion, and retired.
I don't think he would have been a world champion even if he stayed there.
Daniel Ricciardo could have won the world championship if he stayed there.
It's pretty close, but I don't think he would have.
In the McLaren,
in my opinion,
the car is even better than it currently is, and he performs well. He could win a world championship.
I really hope he does win because Daniel Ricciardo deserves at least one championship.
It's a shame that Mark Webber didn't win his.
Yeah, I don't think he's gonna win.
It's so close. 2012, Mark Webber was so close. In 2011, he was so close.
Against if he won the fight against Seb Vettel in Brazil, he would have won the world championship.
Yeah, so close, man. So
blue
close.
Flag, blue flag, blue flag.
But
blue flag.
The other one is now Ferrari. What happened to them? 2020.
Yeah, they kind of had a massive hit, and I think they're going quite well this season.
Yeah, but you want to know why they had their big hit in 2020? Late 2019 is the Ferrari was untouchable in a straight completely. They were 15 kilometers an hour faster than most teams, and the FIA did a private investigation with them, and it hasn't been released to public. But they said we sorted out an agreement with the team, but it's not public. It will be kept private. So everybody presumes now that they actually were cheating with a full fuel flow sensor. So there's a fuel flow sensor every certain distance. So what they would do is the sensor would happen, then they would do just after the sensor, more fuel, then less, more. So they would be pumping more fuel into the engine than other teams and a richer mix. and so the FIA people reported that as cheating, as they thought it, and then FIA went in there, and because Ferrari is such an iconic team, they just had a private deal with them. Just say,
I feel like
don't
there's
do
more
it.
a legal matter. There was probably some non-disclosure agreements and defamation lawsuits in the.
Yeah, well, it's Ferrari.
FIA,
the FIA is so bloody biased towards the big winning teams. It's stupid. Ferrari gets an extra 60 million, a year just for being Ferrari, and Mercedes gets preference because they're winning.
Who's the team that got that thing for taking like Mercedes engine or something like that?
Oh, the pink Mercedes.
Yeah,
Racing
Point
last year. The brake ducts.
Oh my God.
It was legal. It was legal. Racing Point last year. It was genuinely in the regulation.
I swear someone was like whining about it.
Red Bull. It's always Red Bull. But
was it Horner?
Yeah, Christian Horner.
Yeah, he always whines about stuff.
Yeah, and it's because he's trying to win. If it's not done fair, then it's not fair.
Also, if Hamilton would have came first that race, I think it would have been like.
But then we also have with Ferrari, and then 2020 their new engine just didn't work for them. Just kind of ended. So I think we're gonna wrap it up here. We're gonna have the last little thing about George Russell is just gonna be thing is I believe that I think he deserves.
I don't think he'll go to miss. I think Bottas he deserves to stay. He's a pretty good driver.
He doesn't quite.
He doesn't deserve to stay. I don't think Bottas deserves to stay. If they choose him,
I like Bottas though.
That's okay too. I hope
Bottas.
I hope Bottas doesn't leave Formula One. I hope he gets another seat in Formula One.
He'll get given a seat, but I don't know if he'll accept it.
I think he'll go to Williams.
Yeah, Williams got Alfa Romeo. Yeah,
he'll get offered a contract, but I don't know if he'll accept.
All of them are quite down, right?
Yeah, but it's the thing. He didn't perform in the Mercedes. I genuinely think that George Russell deserves it, and he should. But
they have no rush with George Russell.
Yeah, it's true. But George Russell could just say, "Okay, you didn't give me a seat in time," and Red Bull.
No,
or
yeah,
Ferrari,
but who's going to replace him, Red Bull? There's no one. He's not better than
Sergio Perez
right now. It's the best team in the world. It's the best team in the world. You don't turn it down.
No, but Red Bull is on par with Mercedes.
7-time constructor championship?
He did just say that to get more money.
I feel like Stroll is in a weird case here because he's not in the level that he should be. I feel like he should be in a lower car, and I feel like Aston Martin may take a business decision to get rid of him.
Thing is, he's a quick driver, but he's so inconsistent.
Yeah.
Who's this?
Lance Stroll.
Yeah, but he's daddy's car.
Yeah, he's daddy's car.
He goes from third to 8th every single race. I swear.
He would
finishes high in sometimes.
Well, this is just one episode, so we can go into all different topics, even in the past, about all the things. But I think this is a good time to just wrap it up. So
okay, thanks for listening, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening.
Just rambling about Formula One.
Yeah,
no problem. We'll see you probably next Sunday if you're all free to have another chat.
Hit up all the
Friday. Yeah. Friday.
Oh yeah. Friday. Yeah. Oh yeah. See you there Friday.
Yeah, next Friday.
Sunday. What?
Okay. Friday then. I'm gonna cancelled. Lando Norris time. Okay.
No one's gonna be watching this while.
See you lads. Thank you for it. Very fun. Very fun.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Okay.
See ya.
Bye.